And when you were talking in Adelaide the other day, you also talked about the monopoly of Christianity. How do you see that as needing to change?
That is, I think, one of the, it's not central, but it's a peripheral problem, because the rituals of Anzac Day, which were established over a century ago, at a time when Australia was a nominally Christian nation and in which the Christian churches had an enormous influence in public policy and public ritual and public conduct. So the rituals of Anzac Day were determined and regulated by the Christian denominations. And I think possibly for good reasons, because churches or Christian liturgy is really good at expressing emotion. I mean, it does it in a regulated way, in a ritualistic way, perhaps. But they're some of the very few people, ministers, priests, are some of the very few people who have the, if you like, the authority and the skill to be able to speak for people at that deep emotional level. So there's an explanation for how it developed. But when you ally that with the fact that fewer and fewer people have a direct personal family connection to Anzac, then you start to think that in a pluralistic society which is no longer religiously monotone, the ritual's not going to speak for most people. So we've got to find ways to adapt to this. And indeed, there are ways, there are moves already. The Australian Rationalist Association, for example, a couple of weeks ago, approached the War Memorial again and said, look, can we talk about changing the language and the ritual and the basically the Christian predominance at the dawn service? And the memorial basically declined to even speak to them. Now, that's got to change, because we've got to speak to each other if this day is to maintain its relevance and its importance.